Bum-ba-da-dum. Hey y'all, Banjo Ben here with BanjoBenClark.com. I bet that you'd like to learn some G-run variations, and that's exactly what I'm going to teach you here today. Perhaps you watched the last lesson, or I hope that you did, on the learning track called Introduction to G-run. You've got everything that you need to press on with this lesson because we're going to learn 12 G-run variations, one including the standard G-run that I showed you last week. Okay, so now that we have a grasp on that one, we're going to press on, learn 11 more that are for all types of situations. And I'll give you lots of ammo, too, on how to create your own G-run variations because, gosh, it's almost limitless the things that we can come up with to create our G-runs and then figuring out which ones to use in certain contexts to make it really sound good. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, somewhere like that, I'd be honored to have you on board as a Gold Pick member. BanjoBenClark.com. You got learning tracks there, over 800 lessons for banjo, guitar, and mandolin. Wonderful forum there too, so I'd be honored to see you on board. Let's jump right into this lesson and begin with our variations. Got a lot of G-run variations for you today, and if you're following along with me on the learning track at BanjoBenClark.com, the last lesson that you watched was the Introduction to the G-run, where we learned this. And we talked about the history of that. We talked about the theory, all that good stuff. We won't cover that there, but I think it would be good for us just play that a couple times together in case it's been a little while since you've watched that lesson. Make sure and pay attention to those pick strokes. That's very important. Let's play a measure G, a measure D, and back to the G run. Here we go. Ready, go. Here we go. Let's try it again. So this is the G-run that you're most likely going to hear out there, or really, really close variation. And it's probably one of the most common ones that you're going to grab. We can get way more fancy than that. We can get some more blues notes in there. We can mess with the timing. And we're going to do all that today. But first, I want to actually scale it back a little bit because there's times where you don't need all of those eighth notes. Sometimes less is more, and being a good guitar player is not about all the notes you can play, but rather the notes that you choose not to play. And with that, we're going to learn what I call the bare bones. And it's really even more simple than it looks because these two notes on the second beat, that's just a rhythm strum. So really the stars of the show are that bass note down there, and then we've got our MVP notes at the end, also a little D string note in there. Sounds like this. And I'm going to try to pull out those MVP notes if you remember that from the last lesson. Try playing it with me. Downstrokes, right, for those single notes. Very good. And you don't have to do that double strum. That can just be a single strum. Kind of just depends on how fast you're going, what kind of rhythm pattern that you're doing. But I use this one a lot whenever the song isn't calling for more notes. If there's a lot going on and really all we're after is that, then this works really great, accomplishing the purpose. Okay, now we can beef that up a little bit, and I want to show you a version of kind of the bare bones that gets a little bit less bare bony. And that's with this in measure 5 and 6. We're going to add the pull off just like we did in the standard G run. And we're going to add a little bit of what might be considered cross picking in there. And it's going to just add another kind of dimension to it that sounds pretty cool. It sounds like this. Oh, let me try it again. Hear that? So it's going back and forth between this D and G note. And that G note that I'm playing with that upstroke there, that doesn't have to be a G string. You can kind of let your pick just come up and grab whatever strings it wants. You can even hit more than one string. Hear that? Okay. It's just thickening up that lick a little bit and taking advantage of that backbeat. Okay, our next one is called the Add the Low B note. And I find that I play this one in certain circumstances. Well, I'll explain that to you. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, so this is a very major sounding one. All right, we don't have any kind of blues notes in there. And because it's using that B note in the bass, it's even more major sounding, right? That's that major third of the G chord, and it's just a sharper, more pointed sounding G run in it. So I'll use it with when I'm playing songs that are very major sounding, especially if they're in the timing of very straight ahead timing, not a lot of swing in them, and they're running about this tempo. Play it with me. It's kind of more of a statement type of G run because it sticks out more with that big major third down there. Hey y'all, I want to take a quick break to tell you about the guitar that I'm using today. It's become my favorite guitar to play. I haven't had it very long. This is a new guitar from Gallagher Guitars out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I know you've probably heard of Gallagher, but what David and the team are doing there now is the best work that Gallagher's done in many, many years. This particular one is the first model, the first production of this particular model. They call it the Ricetone, and you might be able to deduce why they might do that. It's the Bluegrass bell, but it has some upgrades. First is this beautiful Madagascar rosewood back and sides. That's an upgraded thing. Then we've got the enlarged sound hole, just like Tony's Antique, right? We've got the black fretboard, ebony fretboard without any inlays, and a few other appointments here and there, including the herringbone. And this guitar, it really inspired me whenever I picked it up. It's one of those guitars that makes you want to play stuff you've never played before whenever you pick it up. And I've done other videos on it, but I just want to take a moment. I think the last lesson I put up here on YouTube, somebody demanded that I sell it to them. And I'm not selling this one. I'm going to keep it for quite a while. It's so big and live. But we do get some more of these in from time to time. Not a lot, but if you want to go to the general store and check it out, we may have one there. And if you'd like one, you can let us know, and we'll talk to the folks at Gallagher. But it is my new favorite guitar to play, and I hope that I am able to keep it for a long time. All right, back to the lesson. Let's learn 4 more. And with these 4, we're going to start messing with the timing more, which makes them a lot of fun. And because we're going to be kind of throwing people's ear for a loop. You know, they're expecting to hear that. But we're going to throw them notes when they're not expecting it, withhold notes when they are expecting it. But actually, the first one I want to show you in this set is just adding a blues note. So we talked about, in the intro G run, adding that flat 3 and resolving it up to the major third. Well, we're also going to throw another blues note in there, this flat 7, which is the 3rd fret on the D string. That's an F note. We use that whenever we play a G7 chord, okay? And it sounds great to blues up these G runs. It sounds like this. Now, you wouldn't want to use this one in a very major sounding context. You want to use this in a lot of bluegrass songs that have that bluesy type feel to them. But let's practice it together. We're going to do 1, 5, and then back to the 1. Here we go. Oh, I love that. Let's try it again. And some people will even bend that 3rd fret, which gives it another little element, especially if you're going a little slower. You can really hear it. Fun. Okay, the next one, we're actually going to throw people for a surprise and not play the first note of the G run. You notice that? There's no note right here. I'm calling it without the low root. And we do this to create a little bit more attention on the G run itself. Because when we don't play a note here, it causes people to say, well, what happened to the guitar? And then bam, we hit them with this G run. Okay, it's a pretty cool little effect. Tony Ray, if you've watched my lesson with Tony Ray, he's a master of this. In fact, you need to, over on the website, you need to watch the Ray Run, W-R-A-Y, the Ray Run lesson, because his G run is actually a 4-measure G run, and you want to go check that out. It will make you laugh. It's so good. So for this one into context, of course, it's just a regular G run, but with no bass note. So if we do the 1-5-1 again, it sounds like this. Ready, go. little faster. Ready, go. And I like to mute it right there instead of just letting it ring out. Okay, so. If I can play it. Okay, how about you try it with me? 1, 2, ready, go. Ready? Rest. Now, I hit my dead strings. You wouldn't necessarily want to do that, but you could. That would sound pretty cool. In fact, you might want to try that. That's fun. Okay, the next one, we're going to start messing with the timing. I call it the delayed. It, again, kind of tricks the ear because you're used to hearing something else, but we're going to delay it. This one is mostly downstrokes, as you can see, but don't forget to hit that upstroke on the end of 3. Slowly, this one sounds like this. In context. I love it. Play with me. What a lot of people do when they're going really fast, they will keep it all downstrokes, and they'll add a hammer on. It'll look like this. Okay, and that's tempting. I think I've played my G runs like that when I first started playing. Something like that, or I was doing all downstrokes. And some people, great players, still do that. I don't want you to get in the habit of doing that. We lose a little bit of our power, I think, by doing that. I like to hear that second fret actually picked a lot of times. Okay, so practice that. Let's put it into context again. 1, 5, 1. Ready, go. Oh, that's powerful. It's very powerful. Even though it's not very busy, because of that delay, it loads it up. It's like loading up a catapult that then goes. Very cool. Now we're going to do the same type of delay in the next one, except we're going to, instead of having an open string here, we're going to start with the first fret, which is that flat 3. So this flat 3 right here is going to get more time than any other G run that we've used it before. It's usually just quickly passed over, right? But this time it's going to be at the start of the show. So you really don't want to use this one in something that's not bluesy, because if you're hanging out there on that flat 3, that minor third, and something's really happy and major sounding, it's going to sound weird. So we're going to reserve this one for more major context, right? And I'm going to probably let go of my middle finger. I mean, I can reach it, but I don't really want those ringing out at the same time, so. Oh, that's a nasty one, isn't it? Let's try it in context. Ready, go. Here we go. Again. Oh, that was fun. A lot of fun. All right, let's look at some more. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this lesson today. It was a lot of fun to teach. There's actually 4 more G-Run variations that are really fun. They're for my Gold Pick members over at banjobenclark.com. If you'd like access to those, download the tabs and access to over 800 more lessons for banjo, guitar, and mandolin. Go to joinbanjoben.com to see the benefits of having a Gold Pick membership, and there are many. I also have learning tracks that show you how to progress in your playing from one step to the next. So maybe you're feeling lost, you're just plucking around on YouTube, trying to piece together your own learning experience. Let me help you over on the website. There's also a wonderful forum there with a great community of lots of like-minded folks, bluegrass guitar lovers, and others that come together to help one another learn. Plus, I give you exclusive discounts to all kinds of events and products at Banjo Ben's General Store. So I'd be honored to have you on board as a Gold Pick member. Be sure and like and subscribe so that you'll be notified of my future videos that I put out, and I do hope to see you over on the site. Go play me a G-Run now. This one sounds like this. that cool? Now, we've got 3rd fret and then 3rd fret. And depending on the speed that you're going and the sound that you want, you can either just